Greetings, human, and welcome to the Medical Meridians, your local extraterrestrial facility for all things extra and terrestrial. To begin, please press your finger within the block in order to confirm your identification. This will allow us to ensure that you are our expected guest and not an imposter. We certainly don't believe you would perform such a heinous crime, which could indeed result in issues. But it is better to be safe than sorry, wouldn't you agree? Identity confirmed. Hello, Mr. Leroy Jenkins. Congratulations for following the instructions. We insist that you accept our gift of a plentiful applause for being so cooperative. Commencing applause.
Wow.
We will now pass you on to one of our extremely reliable doctors who will commence with your chosen examination. Have a pleasant stay, Mr. Leroy Jenkins. Oh, you're not supposed to. Greetings, human, and welcome to the Medical Meridians, your local extraterrestrial. What? They already said that? What, on the speaker? Funny, I'm pretty sure I made it clear I wanted to do that, but... Alright then. Ignore what I just said. Hello, human. It's an honor to have you here today. And congratulations, your application was accepted. You must feel truly ecstatic. Feeling neutral? Okay, fine. Feel free to be that way, but anyways. So, are you aware of why you're here? You remember, yes? No memory wipes or anything of the sort? Okay, don't worry about the... I see that face. No, don't worry. That's nothing to be concerned about. Let's just look it up here. So... Mr. Leroy Jenkins, oh, I've heard so much about you. You've had quite the history on your little planet, haven't you? Actually, speaking of which, you have already confirmed your identification, yes? Okay, well, for the moment, I would just like to check. Can you confirm if this is your planet? And would you say the moon spinning around it looks awfully familiar too? Okay, that's excellent to know. But anyways, so let's get to the reason why you're here. It looks like it says that you're here for a classic cranial nerve exam, or at least classic by your standards, correct? So you would like to have the whole shebang of testing all of your cranial nerves just to ensure that everything is as it should be, and of course as a bonus for some lovely relaxation. Does that sound about right? Excellent. Okay, well then just let me adorn my gloves here, and just to start with, I would like to just have a nice look at you, if that's okay. This will, of course, be non-invasive, because apparently I have to start saying that now to these little humans. But if you don't mind, I would just like to get my trusty but broken glasses repaired here, or trusty glasses. I would like to wear my trusty glasses. Excuse me. It's been a long month here in our facility, but okay, so let's just have a good long look at you here. If you don't mind, let me just touch your face here. Let's just have a feel around here. Okay, so what have we got? We have around 2 eyes, 1 nose, but these holes below, are they nostrils? Okay, and then we have 1 mouth here, but when we look inside, it looks as though we may have 2 sets of teeth. Okay, and if we just feel around here. That feels like maybe very soft skin. I can even feel it through my gloves. It is that intense. I have heard that you humans value your skin quite a bit. Is there any reason for that? I suppose that is a rather strange question, isn't it? But it is one of, if not the largest organ on your body, which is quite fascinating. You are rather... What's the word that you humans use? Attractive. I think that describes it perfectly. Okay, so now let me just feel around here. Just well, you look as though you're in good health condition. Do you feel it? Then, just to check, would you mind if I just quickly take your temperature as well? Okay, thank you. Let me just take off my glasses for the moment. And let's get our little thing prepared here. Okay, it's ready to go, so just stay still for me. Let's just have a look. Okay, that's about 28.5. That's interesting. Okay, and then what if we do the cheek? 20.2. Would you say that's an accurate reading? Is it rather cold or rather hot? Okay, and then let's do your other cheek if you don't mind. 29.0. Your face is rather... Your temperature even is rather... Seems to change depending on the side of your face. And then what about your little chin here? 25.7. You are interesting. You have an interesting body. But, excuse me while I just get my glasses back on here. Would you mind if I just touch your face here? Thank you. Did you feel that at all? Okay, and then what about up here? Did you feel that? Okay, and would you say that this is rather sharp or rather dull? I have heard that humans do have a rather sensitive sense of touch to them. You have quite a few senses, don't you? Touch, smell, hearing, the likes. Well, the good thing is we will be testing all of that today, if that's okay with you. I have a feeling that you and I are going to be getting along very well in this next short amount of time. So, that you said that was rather sharp? Okay. Now can you explain to me, is this more dull or sharp? Okay, and would you prefer this, the dull, or would you prefer it to be sharp? I suppose, as human common sense dictates, the dull might be more accurate because it's a lot softer. Is that correct? I see, okay. In that case, let me get both of my glasses here. This one is broken, don't worry about that. But would you mind if I test your sight? Would that be okay? Excellent. Now, I do have something here that I'm pretty sure that you humans are familiar with, but it is rather foreign to us. It is what they would call a pen light. Is that a familiar term with you? So, if I could just have a look here, just have a nice closer look. It looks as though your pupils, these little black dots on your irises, tend to react to this light. So, if you could just stare forward from me anywhere at all, it doesn't matter where, I would just like to have a nice look here at just how your eyes react. Let me just get this one up again here. And can you tell me, human, I see two eyes. Do you have any more? As far as I was concerned, I was aware that humans actually had 4, possibly even 8. Just 2. And do all humans only have 2 eyes? I see. Some would have 1. I have heard that there is a rumor that you humans are able to possess a 3rd eye, and it is rather powerful. Would you say that's correct? No, I see. Rumors can be rather ridiculous at times. We have rumors that apparently my species' hair is able to turn blue. Can you believe something so ridiculous? And the only problem with that is I have no idea what it means when they say blue. I have heard it can mean many things, such as the colour, emotions, or even dabba-dee-dabby-da. But I'm not sure on the 3rd one. But anyways, losing track. Would you please just look at my nose, and are you able to refrain from looking at this light? You are incredible. If you could just keep looking at my nose and try to ignore it. Incredible. And would you be able to track this light here for me? Is that possible? Incredible. Let me just see both. I would need both of my visual orbs here just to have a look at how you do it. We have been quite fascinated by you humans for a very long time, so this is truly something enjoyable for us. And you are my first human ever that I'm able to examine. As again, I'm truly honored, but I have also heard the humans get right bored rather easily, so perhaps we should move on to the next portion of this exam. So I would just like to measure your face and your eyes, but since we are currently on your eyes, I think it is important that we just measure here just the distance between your eyes. Let me just get a different gadget here, and let me just go a little bit closer. Your eyes do seem rather together here. Oh dear, your eyes do seem rather close together here. Maybe we just need to go a little bit closer here. Okay, now then, what do we have? I see one of your eyes is able to go on this side, but then we also have one that's able to go on this side as well. Both are rather well proportioned. I would also say even rather symmetrical. But what if we just move it along slightly? Do those eyes move at all? It doesn't seem like it. It seems as though they stay together either way. So if we just push this along just slightly here, just very close, and then we move this closer toward the actual eyes and the visual orbs, it seems as though that nothing tends to change. They seem to stay at the same length and the same distance regardless. So I would assume that humans are not able to willingly move their eyes in any direction of their face. That would, of course, make a lot more sense. So if we just move it a little bit closer here, and then we push it along, and then we get this pen light again. Now, it doesn't matter. If you could just follow this light for me, it doesn't seem to matter which side the light goes on. The human's eyes don't seem to be able to move in opposite directions. Both have to move one way or the other. So then if we just move along here toward the side, they both have to follow. But okay, then what if we just move it out slightly like this one? And what about that? Does that make any difference, or are they the same? It looks like perhaps they are the same. Incredible. Thank you very much for indulging me with that. But now, just to finish off with your eyes, I would just like to just take a couple of pictures, if that's okay. Okay, and it looks like I may tend to ramble on a bit, so excuse me for a moment, but it looks like as though we have, with these 2 eyes in these beautiful colour here. The pupils don't dilate when they come into contact with this special tool here, but they do tend to flinch, so that must mean that humans don't tend to have, they don't enjoy having things near their eyes, which would make sense because it is very sensitive in compared to ours. Okay, now let's just move along here, the snapshots. I need another light just to be absolutely sure. In fact, that's a lie. Let me get my trusty glasses on again here. Okay, now let's have a good long look here. Let me just get your face here. Let's take another snapshot there. Okay, that's a good one. And then what if we go around here? That's also very, very good. We are getting a good reading at the back of the eyes. They look as though they have quite a bit going on, quite a few features that allows the human to see all types of colours, but from our research, not everyone is capable of such. Some have an inability to see some colours, which, despite that though, it seems as though that they're still able to go about their daily lives without any issues. So again, quite a fascinating thing with these humans. Okay, now then, unfortunately human, I did lie when I said that that was the final part of the eyes. I would like to do a quick short fire test just to ensure that our readings are correct, if that's okay. It will only take just a minute. Okay, can you confirm for me how many fingers am I holding up? And how many now? I have heard that humans are quite good at their numbers, so I would like to test it. What about now? Okay, and how about it now? Okay, and what would you say now? Okay, now I'm going to do something to do with what I believe is called your peripheral vision. Does that sound familiar? Okay, now I would like you to tell me when my fingers go out of your view, so let's give it a test. Right there. Good to know. Okay, now do it again. When does my fingers go out of view? Okay, and one more time. Okay, and again. Excellent. Thank you, human. Let's move on from your eyes and move on to the reason why everyone is here. I noticed that you have 2 hearing modules, but by the sound of it, you humans call them ears. Is that correct? And would you say that that these ears are rather valuable to the human race? They allow you to hear. So, do you have any other capabilities of hearing anything? Not right now, okay. And for you in particular, are these the only ears that you have? Do you have any on the back of your neck, your shoulders, on your hands perhaps? No, it's only these 2, okay. And if I were to feel one ear, what side of your head would you hear this on? That's what I thought. And what about this side? Is it the same? Do you hear all the sound on this side? Okay, in that case, would you be able to just close your eyes for me? And could you tell me, on what side do you hear this specific noise? Fascinating. So humans are capable of even listening from just one side or the other. So let me ask you, human, keep those eyes closed if you can. Do you even hear my voice? If I go gentle like this, do you still hear me perfectly? But if I were to go a little bit louder, would it eventually cause more distress? If I were to go a little bit too loud, is this volume also okay? And let's go back to this one again. If I were to talk the way I am now, or if I would go to a whisper, which one do you think you would prefer? And again, I will ask again with this side, if I were to talk at this volume, or go toward this type of whisper, which one would you prefer? Interesting. So if you could just keep those eyes closed again for me, human. I would like to check if I were to do this or wriggle my gloves, would you be able to tell the difference? I see. A challenge, is it? Very well. Then let's test that too. Could you tell me if you hear me touching your ears or wriggling my gloves? Correct. Fascinating. You are correct again. Let's keep going. Okay. Okay, you can open your eyes, human. Now then, to add to this, would you mind if I just take a quick look inside of your ears? I've heard that's where the sound comes from. That is how you're able to recognize the different sounds. Okay, well in that case, allow me to have a look. We're just going to have a quick look. Oh, apologies for the brightness. Just going to have a quick look inside. Does that feel comfortable, human? Okay. Okay, now I do apologize for the brightness. That is not my intent. Okay. Looks as though things are rather... Looks as though things are quite dark in there. But we just move around here. Looks as though we are able to see every inch, every nook and cranny. It seems as though the skin on the inside is the same colour as the one on the outside as well. That is truly fascinating. So then what if we just go to this one here, setting the otoscope in 3, 2. Okay, that's quite fascinating again. We mustn't be too aggressive though. These are rather sensitive, as is the rest of the human body here. So let's just look around here. Let's just go a little bit deeper. Okay. I have heard that humans do tend to have these things called wax, which kind of tends to build up after a while. Careful, or don't present an ear cleaning, so we may have to investigate that next time, I would think. But overall, it looks like the ears are rather quite delightful looking, as is our fellow human here, and should represent as such. That is incredible, human. Again, I must apologize for that disturbing brightness. It seems as though our facility tends to get a little bit excited when we have new species here, but I believe we can move on from that for now, and I would like to investigate your nose and your mouth, if that's okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so first off, I believe we should have a look at your nose, and I would just like to feel around your, what did they call them, nostrils, you said? And this is how you have your sense of smell, is it? And would you say that you enjoy being able to smell things? Okay, let me just feel around here. So the texture is relatively the same as the rest of your body here. And if I just shove my finger... Oh, what was that? Are you okay? A sneeze. Is that normal? I see. Are you sure you're okay? That seemed rather aggressive and uncomfortable. Okay. Very well here. And is a sneeze normal? I have heard that apparently humans do get quite an infection that seems rather common every year. Is that accurate? The common cold? And is this all one word? Is this normal? Do humans get this often? Multiple times a year? Oh, excuse me for a moment, I just need to upload this to our records. Would you say it's rather detrimental, this common cold? depends on the person. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, well. Oh, I appear to be getting distracted as long as you are okay. But then, in that case, perhaps we shouldn't deal with the nose at the moment. Maybe I don't want to cause any harm to you. So let's say we just move on to the mouth instead. So, let me just get something here. I would like to have a look at your mouth first, and then I would like to inspect your sense of taste. Was that okay? Okay, human, if you would please just open up for me, I would like to just have a look at your teeth here. In fact, okay, let's try this again. Would you be able to just open your mouth for me? Okay, and we'll stick this on your tongue, which again is where you get all of your taste, is that correct? Okay, now then, it looks as though we have quite an interesting mouth here. We have, it looks like human bones on the inside, which of course, from our records have said that this is how humans tend to chew their food. And of course at the back here there's a relatively different ones, different types of teeth, and then again on this side as well, it looks like it's exactly the same. Relatively different, okay. But if you would just allow me just to count those teeth, just open your mouth again for me, human. So let's just start off at the bottom here. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, wow. And then on the top as well, let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's around, that will come to around 32 teeth in total. And is it true that you humans need to keep your teeth clean quite often? Twice a day. Incredible. Okay, in that case, will I be able to look at the back of your throat as well? Thank you very much. These lights tend to go missing often, so if you could just open your mouth one more time for me. Okay. Now then, it looks as though it's a lot of redness at the back there. Apologies. Looks as though there's a lot of redness at the back there, but that may just be because of the gums and the inside of the mouth. I don't believe it is rather detrimental. Just a common feature here. Okay, and would you be able to speak? Say ah for me. Okay, and of course my light is failing me. Let's try a different one. Okay. Okay, and then, okay, so along with the teeth, we also have a tongue here, which is used for the taste. And then the back, it looks like there's something hanging from it, which is, it seems to rattle whenever the human speaks. So that seems to be normal, but otherwise it looks as though the mouth itself is rather normal. Nothing too detrimental here. Okay, so let's just keep that mouth open for me, human, if you can. Okay. It looks as though that every human seems to have had some kind of mouth from what our records say here. And of course, there's how they consume their food. They are unable to consume it through their stomach, like us or other species. It must be through the mouth, and yet they must keep their mouth cleaned as well. That's the fascinating thing. Constant monitoring of it seems as though it would be rather taxing, if nothing else. And surely if the teeth were to fall out, would they then get the teeth removed, or would they get them just simply replaced? One can never imagine, but otherwise it looks as though our humans here's mouth is looking just as good as they are. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. But unfortunately, I did tend to lie. I said that was the last time that we would ask you to open your mouth, and yet I may need it one more time in order to conduct a taste test. Is that okay? Thank you. You've been very patient. I understand that a lot of these questions must seem rather taxing or exhausting, so I do appreciate you. Reminds me that we need to do a brain scan when our human falls asleep. Okay, so this is a special little vial. I've heard humans are rather fond of different flavors, so we've conducted something here, this special little vial, where every time you remove this thing, which I never figured out the name of, every time you remove it, it has a different flavor. But of course, this also means that it can potentially be either favorable or rather disgusting. So we can let you be the judge of that. So if you could just stick your tongue out for me. Now, what would you say that tastes like? The expression tells me all. You humans are good with your emotions. Okay, and then again, what would you say this tastes like? Again, that was quite the reaction. I can only imagine. And I do apologize. Okay, and then finally, one more time. And what would you say this one tastes like? Interesting, thank you. So if you could just allow me a moment to update my records here. You've been very helpful, I must say. We do appreciate it. We are almost done, but not exactly yet. Okay, now then, I would just like to have a look at the rest of your body here. Okay, now then, I would just like to investigate the rest of your body here. I know that we said it would just be cranial nerves, but you have left me rather intrigued. So I would like to investigate your heart and lungs, if that's okay. You have one heart, two lungs, is that correct? Okay, so then I would like to just push this to your chest here. Would you be able to just take a big, deep breath in for me? And breathe out. Did that feel okay? Okay, and then on this side as well, I would like you to take a deep breath in for me. And out. And we'll go on the back here. If you could just take a deep breath in for me again. And out. And one more time on this side. If you could just take a deep breath in for me. And out. And did that feel okay? Excellent. So now, I would just like to have a look at the rest of your body here. So I see around 2 arms, 2 legs, and it looks as though on the end of your arms you seem to, would I be able to hold your hand? Thank you. It looks as though you have these things that we like to call phalanges, or from what we've heard you call them fingers. Is that correct? Okay, and looks like I see around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one seems a bit shorter and wider than the rest. Okay, and then on your other arm here, you have another bunch of phalanges. So let's count them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again the last one is rather smaller than the rest, rather wider here. So let me just feel around your hands here. And again, you only have 2 arms, 2 hands. Same with your legs, 2 legs, 2 feet. Okay, and are you able to stretch your arms out for me? And very well, let me just pat along here. you have quite a bit of muscle. I've heard that humans do need to work their muscles quite frequently in order to stay active and healthy. Otherwise, you may become stiff and in pain. Excellent. It's good to see that our records are quite up to date then. And again, let me try this one. Would you be able to just flex your arm for me? Quite strong indeed, even for a human. Perhaps you are different from the rest. Okay, now then. There we go. Okay, now, just to finish things off, I would just like to conduct some measurements, if that's okay. They will be quick, they will be harmless, but also relaxing. So just bear with me for a minute here. Okay, we'll just start off with your face here. Okay, that looks around accurate here. The numbers never seem to lie. So we need to be quick here because we don't want to waste any more of the human's time. Yeah, so let's see, just go along. Yeah, so the numbers can go from all the way from 0 to past 100, possibly even 200 centimeters, millimeters, inches. Okay, so then what if we just put it around the head here? And the face does seem rather symmetrical with the rest of the actual head itself. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Again, this must be one of the more attractive humans. So let's just turn it around here for the head. It seems as though that is also good. So then what if we just push it along here? That seems decent enough. Yeah, that's it. Everything is as it should be. So let's just count it. We're going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Okay, that's incredible. But then, what if we then move on to the ears? We can't neglect the ears, never neglect the ears. And then just push that along there. That seems rather accurate. Of course, we need to be gentle and we can't be too loud. Otherwise, that could cause some severe issues to our friend here. So then what if we move it around here? Let's go to the very bottom, the very end, the very beginning of it, and let's just go from 1 inch. So in inches, that would be possibly around 3 to 4, maybe even 3.5 inches. But then if we turn it around, turn, we have maybe around 7 centimeters as well. It's a shame we don't have one that has millimeters. Human anatomy is interesting. Okay, and then what if we check this one? Let's start off with centimeters this time, be a little bit more daring. And what would it say? This one has also 7 centimeters, but it could possibly be 8 depending on how it is measured. Okay, but then what if we just measure it the long way here, just all the way to the end? We have it goes from about 1, 3, 6, 9, 1, 3, 6, 8, 12, and that goes to about 26 centimeters. Okay, but then if we do it the other way, we will focus on inches again. That goes to around 10 to 12 inches. Incredible stuff. And then what if we go back to this one? I didn't measure this one the long way as I should have, so I apologize for that. But let's just start off from the beginning again. We'll go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like called xenomorph alive, and then that goes to around the same amount, possibly even 11 to 12 inches. Incredible. Okay, but then what if we just focus back on the human's face here? If we measure from one eye to the other, we have around, if we go from one here, it could possibly be to around 19 centimeters, but that might just be because of our little friend here looking too attractive for their own good. And then if we go to around inches, we start off from 1 and then go all the way to that. From here, as close, it can go to about 8 inches, but then if we pull it along much further out, it can go to even 14 inches. But then what if we just switch that around back to centimeters, and then we move it down here that can even be to around 10 inches. That seems rather small. I don't know if that's accurate, but if we pull it out, we then move to about 12, and again pull it out even more, and then we go to about 20. Incredible stuff. And then again, we'll just do it again. We'll just move it all the way around here. In fact, I think it's best that we use a different one just to be absolutely certain. Okay, now let's have another one here, if you don't mind my rambling, human. Thank you. Okay, and then this could potentially go to even 23 centimeters, but that doesn't seem to make that much sense. But then what if we go a little bit closer and then move all the way to 13 centimeters? Again, seems rather small for a human here who seems to be taller or smaller than me. And then we could possibly go to about 26 inches, but then what if we pull it along and stay at this distance? It can even go to about 30. So then if we switch that around, that goes to about 11 inches. And then we move it down, and we could potentially go to 7, and then move it all the way back, and that can go to even 15. Incredible. But then if I get my glasses here, and I just draw them one more time, let's just have a quick look, a quick touch around the face here. It all seems rather fine. Everything is rather smooth, elegant. Let me put my light on here. But of course, speaking of light, we need at least 1 or 2. Okay, let me just have a quick look. Here we have this. So if we just touch that there doesn't seem to be any reaction. The human seems perfectly fine. But then what if we go here? Again, there's no reaction. The human seems perfectly healthy here. Okay, and then what if we just touch 1, 2, 3? Again, nothing need for concern. It seems perfectly okay. Our friend here is not in a bad state at all. Okay, minus my rambling, I believe we might be done, my human friend. I have to say, I am very grateful that we got to meet today. You have been very helpful and very patient with me. I couldn't have asked for a better human, and for you being my first, as you know, first times are always important, and you made it truly memorable. So, we're going to send you back to your planet, and it is entirely your choice if you wish to remember this or forget about it. But if you don't mind, I would like to invite you for another exam someday. There is many things that we would like to look at when it comes to you humans and your civilization. So if you don't mind, would you be willing to indulge us again, me and my colleagues? Thank you. With that then, my friend, it is with great sadness that I must say goodbye. I hope that you've enjoyed your stay at our Meridian's medical facility, and hopefully I will be able to see you again very soon. So, until then, take care, my friend.